I was spending some time before this going through the Atlantic. I'm a big fan of the Atlantic. Right? I'm not paid well.
The ocean or the
The ocean.
the publication. I like the ocean too.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
But
I like the Atlantic Ocean a little bit more than the Pacific.
Oh, really? Hot
I can hear
take.
you.
You can get in.
Yes, the Pacific can hear you.
The Pacific can't hear me at this distance, but it's too cold.
It is. That's very true. Yeah.
So this is.
Damn, you got a nice.
I was gonna say you got a stylus on the iPad.
It's called an Apple Pencil, and my favorite thing about the Apple Pencil is that it costs $120, which means the once every 2 days I can't find it are very stressful for me.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It is. So it has replaced AirPods.
I was
as
about to
the,
say, it's this, but a pencil.
I glued an AirTag to mine, by the way.
Oh, see, that's a good
It
idea.
helps because I threw mine in a trash can in the Panhandle of Texas on the way out here.
Oh, Jesus.
And then my thing dinged, and it was like, your AirPods are no longer near you.
Yeah.
And it was cool because then I got to dig out of a trash
I was
can.
about to say
Yeah,
they
that's
are next to a half-drank Mountain Dew and
Well,
in
if
a
it was
piss
half
bottle.
drank when I found it. It was all the way drank when I was done. You know? This is from the May 1985 Atlantic. It's a full page here.
Okay,
And,
1985.
At the bottom, it's interesting because it says copyright 1985 by the New York Times Company, reprinted by permission from the December 29th, 1984 issue of the New York Times. So this piece made its way around. I'm not going to tell you what the topic. You guys just follow me on this.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
See what comes to mind. Okay. At the top, in very big letters, it's in quotes. It says, "Discrimination is discrimination, no matter what it is based on." We can all agree on that, right?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yes.
Actually, I don't think we can because if you're an asshole,
Yeah, you can be
earned
called
it.
out for being an asshole. That's fine.
By Stanley S. Scott. The Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, and a host of anti-discrimination laws notwithstanding, millions of Americans are still forced to sit in the back of planes, trains, and buses. Many more are subject to segregation in public places. Some are even denied housing and employment, victims of an alarming yet socially acceptable public hostility.
Ooh, injustice a brewing.
Yep.
I wonder what they're being criticized.
That's the
for.
first paragraph. Here we go. The next paragraph is one line. This new form of discrimination is based on smoking behavior.
Oh, of course. Of course. This is like the you can almost see this guy's like oversized suit and he's at a fucking comedy club and he's like, you can't smoke fucking anywhere anymore.
I'm gonna beat the Rosa Parks of cigarettes.
No one asked your baby to smoke.
Can I say this is great because one of my side gigs is I narrate the audio versions of the articles for the Atlantic. If you go to like the Atlantic's app or to like anywhere they have like Apple News.
Sure, yeah.
Like you can hear me. This is the earliest one I've ever narrated though.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's
Right
amazing.
here. So I'm this is me doing my for free here, right here.
Yeah,
on
sure.
This one was, all right, so let's keep on going. If you happen to enjoy a cigarette, you are the potential target of violent anti-smokers and overzealous public enforcers determined to force their beliefs on the rest of society. Beliefs like
Your beliefs.
that will kill me.
Yeah, yeah.
Beliefs like I don't want to stink.
Right, yeah.
All these overzealous, ideological. Okay.
So I guess that first of all, this far into it,
Yeah.
it's not that Dennis Leary stole Bill Hicks's anti-smoking bits.
Yeah.
Bill Hicks stole his anti-smoking bits from this article.
From the Atlantic. Yeah,
I
that's
see.
right.
Ever since people began smoking, so the beginning of time,
Yeah, sure.
ever since people began smoking, smokers and non-smokers have been able to live with one another using common courtesy and common sense. Not anymore. Today, smokers must put up with virtually unenforceable laws regulating when and where they can smoke. Laws intended as much to discourage smoking itself as to protect the rights of non-smokers.
Yeah.
Much worse, supposedly responsible organizations devoted to the, quote, public interest are encouraging the harassment of those who smoke. This year, for example, the American Cancer Society is promoting programs that encourage people to attack smokers with canisters of gas,
What?
to blast them with horns, to squirt them with oversized water guns, and burn them in effigy.
Wait, is the American Cancer Society like fucking the radical end of Greenpeace now? What are they talking about?
I think it's actually Antifa.
Anti-smo.
Harmless fun.
We're anti-smo.
Anti-funk. Yeah.
Anti-funk.
Harmless fun. Not quite.
It sounds like great fun.
Consider the incidents that are appearing on police blotters across America.
Yeah, what the fuck are they talking about?
This has
Point
happened
one.
to Carter.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I'm right there with this.
In a New York City restaurant, a young man celebrating with friends was zapped in the face by a man with an aerosol spray can.
I'm sorry.
His offense, lighting a cigarette.
What kind of spray can, though?
The aggressor was the head of a militant
Febreze.
anti-smoker organization whose goal is to mobilize an army of 2 million zealots to spray smokers in the face.
What the fuck?
Exactly happened to me.
Is there any sources cited on that? That just seems completely made up.
No, there's not any sources.
Weird.
Point 2. In a suburban Seattle drugstore,
Oh, no.
a man puffing on a cigarette while he waited for a prescription to be filled.
Prescription for asthma medication, presumably.
next to a 90-year-old woman smoking a cigarette.
With a baby also smoking a
While
cigarette.
he waited for a prescription to be filled,
pregnant 90-year-old woman.
he was ordered to stop by an elderly customer who pulled a gun on him.
What?
I know these
That's
days
American.
people
I was
will be
gonna say-
I'm on the side of the guy with the gun.
Yeah, I mean, that actually
Stand
sounds...
your ground.
I believe that. This is where we are as a society. I believe that before I believe somebody sprayed someone in the face with Febreze or whatever in a restaurant.
Now, maybe people in Los Angeles are feeling a little smug right now because these two incidents happened in New York
Oh,
and
boy.
Seattle. But wait, it's coming home.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Part 3. A 23-year-old lit up a cigarette on a Los Angeles bus. Okay, which first of all, nah.
I mean, we've talked about just how rude it is to eat tacos on the bus. Like onion smell is, that's one thing. Cigarettes,
I
come
will
on.
beam up.
Yeah.
On the bus.
Yeah.
I will pull the light bulb out and beam up. But I will not smoke a cigarette because that is a public space.
Well, here's a better reason for it. A passenger objected. When the smoker objected to the objection, he was fatally stabbed.
What?
That doesn't sound like the bus here.
Oh yeah.
Again, sadly, I believe that more than I believe someone was sprayed in the face with aerosol.
Also, have you been on public transportation around here? There's some
Yes.
people who are just looking to stab.
Yeah.
You're
You
looking
could
to
get stabbed
stab.
for anything.
We have
I've been-
correlation, but not
They
causation in this situation.
people still smoke on the subway. They'll light up a cigarette, no problem. They'll light up a blunt, they'll light up the meth pipe, no problem.
Hit the
Well,
foil.
because it's on the bus, you
They'll
get
hit the
stabbed for
foil,
doing it.
no problem.
Dude,
Hitting
if
the
it's
foil. There it is. That
underground.
sounds
If it's
perfect.
underground, it doesn't count. That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Yeah. Now, if you're on an elevated train,
Closer to the devil is what I said.
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
God can't see you underground. Yeah.
Final point. A transit policeman using his reserve gun shot his reserve gun. He goes, "Oh, you're not good enough for my man."
his bazooka jammed up, and he had to grab his little pistola that was like attached with lace to his.
Boot gun. He goes, "Usually I shoot people who are cheating at poker games with this one." A transit policeman using his reserve gun shot and fatally wounded a man on a subway train in the Bronx in a shootout over smoking a cigarette. A
real,
fucking
dude.
shootout? What? No wonder he was all out of fucking rockets for his rocket launcher.
That means that the guy that he was fighting with took his main gun, right? If he's using his reserve pistol and there's a shootout.
I don't know. Maybe this
Seems
guy
like-
came strapped with his own.
Yeah, maybe so.
Let me get to the end of this.
Yeah, please.
It's almost over. The basic freedoms of more than 50 million American smokers are at risk today.
Damn straight.
Tomorrow, who knows what personal behavior will become socially unacceptable, subject to restrictive laws and public ridicule. Could travel by private car make the social engineers hit list because it is less safe than public transit? Could ice cream, cake, and cookies become socially unacceptable because their consumption causes obesity? What about skydiving, mountain climbing, skiing, and contact sports? How far will we allow this to spread? The question all Americans must ask themselves is, can a nation that has struggled so valiantly to eliminate bias based on race, religion, and sex afford to allow a fresh set of categories to encourage new forms of hostility between large groups of citizens? After all, discrimination is discrimination, no matter what it is based on.
That last paragraph
beautiful.
is straight Alex Jones.
It's straight Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
It's straight every one of them.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
next?
Yeah.
If we don't allow me to stab poor people.
Yeah, but I mean specifically those points they made where they're like, are they going to ban a personal car travel? So there was the thing, and I think it was the World Economic Forum or something where basically they proposed the idea of what was called 15-minute cities. Have you heard about this? So the idea is like, in the future, when planning cities, you should try to make it so that everything is walkable within about a 15-minute walk. And it's just like a proposal that'll never get acted upon because it's not in the interest of capital to do anything. It's just in the interest of them to look like they're doing something.
Right.
But Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, all those guys took the 15-minute city thing and they're like, they're going to lock us down in the cities and you won't be able to escape. You won't have a car. And that is what they've extrapolated it to. So there's that. The second thing was like, are they going to ban birthday cake? That's also a thing where, like, again, in Davos or WEF or something, they said something like, oh, you should eat less. And they took that to mean like, they're going to stop me from eating sugary snacks. Like,
Can I, as the resident smoker here, retort to this?
Yes, please do.
So, I quit smoking like 10 months ago.
You got stabbed or something? Blast in the face with a
Well,
bullseye.
I was going to say, I was pressured and intimidated to quit smoking 10 months ago, rather, I should say.
by Antismo.
Well, mostly because of the realization that I've probably already given myself cancer. But
It's
because of stuff like
tumor
this.
in my lungs.
It's because of stuff like this, really. It's like, it's like I mean, cops would always like kind of flash like a like a machete at me every time I would smoke. I would. It actually didn't. I was training for a triathlon, and smoking actually helped me.
Yeah, when cops almost hit me with the rail gun from Quake, I was like, you gotta
a BFG. They would flash a BFG at me.
The cops at the BFG.
One guy flashed the golden gun at me, and he was not even.
He was not even Baron Samedi.
It's because I was smoking. And it's only happened in Los Angeles. It's not because I could feel my body shutting down because of smoking for 20 years. No.
Yeah.
It's because of Los Angeles intimidation.
Yeah.
That reminded me of a video I saw online where it's a news report from when they banned drinking in your car. Not drunk driving, but just an open container. When they passed that law, they're doing a news report about it, and everyone is acting like they're being persecuted.
Any attempt to restrict drinking and driving here is viewed by some as downright undemocratic.
It's kind of getting common is when a fella can't put in a hard day's work, put in 11, 12 hours a day, and then get in your truck and at least drink 1 or 2 beers.
They're making it laws where you can't drink when you want to. You have to wear a seatbelt when you're driving. And pretty soon we're going to be calm this country.
Look, if I want to burn tires in my front yard, how does that affect anyone else?
No one.
Okay.
Not a person in the world. You know what I mean? And what's next? You don't get a birthday? I don't get a birthday?
No cake.
Doesn't matter what your sign is. You don't have a birthday.
Well, that's the trick. That way we can't get Social Security.
Yeah.
Still got to pay on it. Never going to get there.
Yeah. God, that's.
I used to look so fucking cool when I smoked. I did. I think I would put a cigarette in like the picture afterwards. There's some with me smoking in them.
Oh yeah.
Well, I should add this one.
The cool ones.
Probably
The cool
not.
ones.
Yeah.
It's probably not that significant, but it real big at the bottom of this whole article I read. It says in bold, presented in the public interest by Philip Morris Incorporated. I don't know. I just feel like I have to read the whole thing,
This was written by Joe Camel.
Yeah.
Philip Morris. I was thinking about like how like you can tell how bad a product is for people by like the names of the companies.
Oh yeah.
Like how like smoking was like R.J. Reynolds and Philip Morris. You're like, those are people's names. And then they got bad and they're like, we're Nutria.
We're
now.
Altria.
Altria,
yeah.
I mean, people aren't like, excuse me, could you put that out? Gross.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
People aren't like that.
Right.
I mean, Carly was because she had to kiss an ashtray for 2 years.
Yeah, sure.
But when people are pulling away because of the way you smell from smoking,
Yeah.
it's like much more subtle than that.
Right.
It's not like people like calling a high noon draw on a subway like they're saying. It's more like people like kind of pull away in this way of like, do you need a minute to go smoke?
Right. Yeah.
Like they're like people cater to smokers. Like it's not like they don't. They cater to it. They're like, oh well, before we go, did you want to like smoke or something before we get back in the car?
Yeah.
And we all have to smell it. Okay, well you can.
Maybe this is the underlying story here to the first one. A young man celebrating with friends was zapped in the face by a man with an aerosol spray can Maybe that was like deodorant or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe it was a
Yeah.
big can of Brute.
Yeah,
Deodorant
exactly.
spray. The guy goes, look, you need this. You're partying with your friends. They won't get near you. So here you go. I'm going to do this for you.
Old Spice spray on musk. That's what my grandfather wore every day in this bathroom. Permanently smelled like that shit. You cannot. It clings to the walls, man. Yeah, he'd been dead for years, and you go in the bathroom and be like, Jesus, it still smells like spray on musk deodorant in here.
Better than Elon Musk. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll take that any day. It's fun when big corporations get a nice advertising campaign going in the New York Times and then the Atlantic, and to try to take down something that is actually a public health concern. So that's fun. It's not happening now.
Yeah.
But the subtext of this that's I'm going to ruin this being a comedy podcast.
Oh yeah.
But like these guys really did, like the cigarette industry, the tobacco industry, like wrote the playbook.
Yep.
That everybody uses now.
This is Chevron.
Like-
Oh, right. Yeah.
This is Shell.
This is the origins. Yeah, the coal industry then follows like
This is how they're
Being like any sort of like blowback on the industry or like questioning of its like public worth is like limiting our freedoms or something like that.
Yeah. Like and again, much like the World Economic Forum, it's like we got to look like we're doing something about climate change, but not actually change anything we're doing.
when people are like they want to control us, and I'm like, what do you think they want you to do different than you're already doing?
Right.
You buy shit all the time. You fucking do what you're told.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
What do you think? Do you know how much harder it is to like actually control you physically?
Yeah. It's
Instead,
like
we'll be like, you want to go out on the boat one day?
right.
Get in the mines. Get down in them mines. Hey, look, it's about freedom.
Yeah, it's about freedom. It's about limiting individual freedom to consumption. That's what you're free to do.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be a point where you can't get Amazon shit brought to your house.
Incentivizing capitalism. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're just mad about fucking nothing. But meanwhile, you've got all these, got all these big corporations who are just doing these huge campaigns to be like, no, it's fine. We're doing a lot. We got clean coal, and you're like, what is that? It's clean.
Well, every time I do see someone smoking, though, I still can't help but think that they're like an art damaged prophet. I can't help it.
Wait, are they an art? They're damaged by their art.
Yeah, they're damaged by their art, and they're a
yeah.
prophet, and I can't help but think it.